Good morning. So I had a interesting idea. So I have a whole bunch of cookbooks that I have bought from garage sales and thrift stores, mostly Garten cookbooks, and I have yet to make any of the recipes in these cookbooks. So I had an idea that we would do a series of 6 videos using those cookbooks, and we'll make and test some of Garten recipes. So the next 6 videos are going to be all testing Garten recipes from these cookbooks. So I have 4 of them that I have accumulated from garage sales and from thrift stores. I recently just bought this one from the thrift store video you guys just watched. So we are going to make a recipe out of these today. We're going to use a recipe out of this book here. Okay, so today one of the recipes that I wanted to try is out of this book. And let me just get to the page here. I have several out of this book that we're going to be making. So the recipe I'm going to make today is on page 106, Tuscan lemon chicken. This one here. So we need to make a marinade first to start. So let's start with the lemons. We need to juice 2 lemons. I have my big baking dish here because we have to put it all in this dish. Let me just move my book here. We are going to be making a few of her desserts, a few of one of her lunch recipes and a soup recipe. Not in this video, but in the next videos to come. Let me see here. Okay. So to start with, we're making a marinade. So our chicken, I've got chicken legs here. You can use a whole chicken as well. So I need to juice 2 lemons into our dish here. I might double the marinade just because I have quite a bit of chicken here, but we'll see. See how much this makes. The chicken needs to marinate for 4 hours or overnight. So I'm starting this a little early before dinner here. I've been wanting to try a lot of these recipes, I just haven't had time, so I figured this was the perfect opportunity if I did like a video series trying out a whole bunch of recipes out of these books. I'm a big fan of Garten, so perfect opportunity. Okay, let me get my lemon juice because I want to make this double. It says about 1/3 cup of lemon juice. I only bought 2 lemons. I probably should have zested them first, but we can still zest them. Okay. So that is about 1/3, so I'm going to use some organic orange lemon juice here, and we'll do double here. I just want to make sure I have enough marinade. And we need the same for olive oil. She says to use good olive oil. So I'm going to double that, 1/3 times 2. We're putting it right into the baking dish here. I'm going to attempt to zest some of these since I forgot to do that part first. So we want the zest of 2 lemons here, so we'll just zest what we got here. I think this chicken is going to be extremely flavorful, but we'll see. I will taste it at the end after it comes out of the oven. taste it on camera for you.
Take the seeds out here. Okay, so I'm just going to put that right into the dish here. Sprinkle it around. Okay. Okay, so it also calls for 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. I'm just going to use garlic paste here. And we doubled this, we got to do 2. I am attempting to make these recipes as close as possible. Okay, we need a tablespoon of minced fresh rosemary. We're doubling this as well, so 2 tablespoons worth. I was going to take these off of my rosemary plant, but I killed it. I think I had it too far away from the window, so I killed my rosemary plant. So I had to buy some fresh rosemary for this. So I would recommend dicing these up fairly small, unless you don't mind chunks of rosemary. Let's see how much that is. I think this is going to give the chicken a really nice flavor. So this recipe also, there was one part on it that's interesting. She wants me to sprinkle 1 teaspoon of salt per side of chicken. That seems like an outrageous amount of salt. I think I'll sprinkle generously, but that amount of salt on each side of the chicken makes me really nervous. The only other thing in this recipe that I'm changing is she recommends to grill the chicken, but it's snowing really bad here, and I really don't want to go grill out on my deck in the middle of the snow, so I'm going to bake it. Okay, I think this is fairly close. That is really close to 2 tablespoons. Okay, now we just need to mix this up. We move the cutting board here. Need to add a little bit of pepper to the marinade. I wanted to double the marinade just because the amount of liquid in this isn't very much, and so I wanted it to be enough to go over all of the chicken, not just a couple pieces. That looks delicious. Let me smell. It smells good too. Okay, so let me wash my hands one more time. Okay, so it says so it says in the recipe to take each piece. I'm going to use one hand and one hand here to keep it separate. And she says to put 1 teaspoon of salt on each side of the chicken. I'm going to do it generously, but maybe not quite 1 teaspoon. That is a lot. She says it brings out the flavors of the marinade. Okay. And then she says coat both sides like that. Oop, just about used the wrong hand. Do it again. And halfway through the 4 hours, you're supposed to flip the chicken in the marinade so that both sides get marinated evenly. Smells really good. This is so much salt. She has so many recipes in her books. I had a hard time choosing which ones to try, but I ended up choosing a mixture of things, including a couple desserts for the next videos coming up. Sprinkle. She says in the recipe that you can remove the bones if you like, but it's not necessary. Oh, there's some excess fat on this one that I'm going to trim off. Salt. Okay, same thing. And then in a couple hours, I will come and flip these. We'll flip them again. I'll give you a close-up look at what these look like in a minute here. And then we'll put some saran wrap on them and refrigerate them for 4 hours. Okay, let me wash my hands and then I'll give you a close-up look. Okay, so here's a close-up look of the marinade. So I'm just going to put some plastic wrap on this and put it in the fridge, and I'll see you in 4 hours when it comes out. Okay, it's been 4 hours. This is what the chicken looks like. Looks pretty marinated. I actually turned it probably 3 times instead of just once, just to make sure it was nice and marinated. So I'm gonna chop up some carrots and some potatoes to roast in the oven with the chicken. Okay, so I'm just gonna chop up some carrots and some potatoes to roast. I already peeled and washed all of these. So I usually just cut these in chunks, nothing too fancy. The chicken smells delicious. I am going to put it on this pan with a rack, just so it's not in all the oils and stuff while it's baking. I think it'll bake up nicer that way. I figured roasted vegetables would go nicely with this dish. I wasn't sure how many potatoes I needed, so I just washed a bunch of them here. I try to cut my vegetables somewhat the same size. 1 to 1.5 inch pieces usually. And I'm just going to put a basic seasoning on them, because I think the chicken's going to be the star. My oven's preheated. I want the skin on the chicken to crisp up. That's why I'm going to put it on the pan with the rack, just so the grease and any drippings drip to the bottom. These are yellow gold potatoes that I'm using. It's one of my favorites for roasting, actually. These knives are so sharp. Okay, let's see how much that does. I think that's good. Okay. So I'm going to pour olive oil. Some salt. Some pepper. This is very basic. I'll probably put some Parmesan on them later. Some garlic powder. And some garlic plus seasoning. Really good on roasted vegetables. And then later, once this comes out, I'll probably put some Parmesan on it. And there we go. There's those. I'm going to wash my hands and then we'll put those on the rack. Let's move this out of the way. Turn my pan over. And I'm going to do them skin side up. In the recipe, it also says that you could take the sauce from the chicken and thicken it and turn it into like a glaze for the top of the chicken, if you wanted. Oh, some extra pieces there I didn't see. I'm just giving them enough space here on the rack. I will probably baste the chicken maybe, but we'll see. I think I'm just going to put a little bit over each one. I think this chicken is going to be super flavorful. There. For now, I think that's good. So I'm going to cook these at 350 probably for 45 minutes to an hour. So yeah, let's put these in the oven. Put those on the bottom. And the vegetables can go on the top. Okay, as soon as these come out, I'll show you the finished product. Okay, the chicken has come out of the oven. I let it cook for about an hour and 15 just to give it some nice color on top. Now I'm just putting some Parmesan on the vegetables here. So let's try a piece of this. Looks really juicy. It has rested for a couple minutes. This is the skin. That's really good. Here's the chicken here. It has like a... I figured it was going to be sour because of all the lemon juice, but it's not. It's soaked into it really, really nicely. This taste, it has really good flavor from being marinated. Highly recommend trying it.
So everybody, this is where I'm going to end the video for today. And in the next video, we're probably going to make Ina Garten's chocolate cake recipe, I think. So stay tuned for that. Bye. See you next time.